Welcome to my first YouTube video. This has been long awaited. I don't know, but y'all been asking me for this for a long time. And I mean, I know I've said many times I was starting a YouTube video. It ain't never happened, but hey, we here now. With that being said, I want my YouTube to be raw, uncut, straightforward. I mean, that's how I am when I'm on live. Those who have been following me for a long time, y'all know I would live on live. I would come on live and I would come on exactly how I am. Bonnet, school t-shirts, sweatpants, and all, just comfy and me being me. And it's something about when I'm in my element, I'm able to just be me. I'm able to just be me. Because I did try to do something like this before. If some of you may know my $1,000,000 hair series, I hired a whole production. I paid a lot of money for production, a lot of money for space, got my hair done, got my makeup done, just did the whole nine. And I did not feel like me. Like every time I was trying to record, I'm stuttering, I'm just all over the place. I did not feel like me. So with that being said, I knew, you know what, when it comes to this YouTube, I'm gonna just be me. And this is me. I'm real nice and cozy. And for real, I'm actually just cold. So that's why I have on this robe. But this is just me. I'm just gonna come on here just real. So for my first video, I wanted to do an introduction of who I am, my story, how I started, and most importantly, my testimony. And then at the end, we'll get to what this whole YouTube channel is going to be about and why I'm doing everything for free. Yeah, free. So, first things first, not first things first. So my name is May. My real name is not real name, but my nickname is May. But my name is Amaya, and my last name is Smart. Yes, my last name is Smart, y'all. For real. I'm Amaya Smart. I'm originally from New Jersey. I grew up in Sicklerville, New Jersey, like most of my life. I did go to Winslow High School. Just a quick little background of me before we get to me starting, because you gotta know me before, so then it makes sense of me starting and who I am and with my story and everything. So me before, I used to run track. I didn't really have a lot of friends. I mean, most of my friend group was the people that I ran track with. But other than that, like, I did have one close friend. Her name is Kiana. And I would say, like, for me growing up, I was not academically smart. Like, I was not academically smart, y'all. Like, when it came to school, it was just so hard for me. Like, it was just hard. It took me a lot longer to catch up on things than other people. So that's when I was diagnosed with ADD, and like I had to take medicine for it and everything. Like I was on Adderall, Vyvanse. Like I was on medicine for me to just focus and do good. Like I went from being a C/D student to a B student once I got on that medicine. Like that medicine did wonders for me, but it made me feel terrible. Like if anybody ever been on this medicine, you know what I'm talking about. That medicine makes you feel like a zombie, but it will have you do any and everything. And that's just how it was. But yeah, growing up, I did run track from me starting at like 9 years old. And track was life. I was really good at track in the beginning, but I will say I did get to a point in my life where I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be with the popular people. I wanted to go out. I wanted to party and all this stuff. So with that being said, I started to hang around the wrong people, and don't get me wrong, like they were cool. I ain't gonna lie, like they was cool, but their lifestyle was different than mine. But of course, me wanting to have friends, me wanting to be seen, I did like indulge in stuff. I did do stuff that I have no business doing. And with that being said, that like resulted me like not being able to graduate my eighth year, my eighth grade year. It just, I was like in punishment all summer. Like it was so terrible. Like I just kept getting in trouble. And when I realized that like I'm not like the popular kids, because if anything they was laughing and making fun of me. That's another thing. I was like really bullied growing up. But I'm not gonna make this about this. This is just like a little short introduction of, me before. But I quickly realized that I'm not like other people. I'm not like everyone. I am very like, if you know me in real life, I'm very socially awkward. That's why like people who grew up with me, and then they met me, and now it was like a shot of who I am, because around everyone else, I am very socially awkward. I don't catch on to things. Like I was just like really different. But one thing that did make me different was my love for Jesus Christ. Okay, I grew up in the church, and I wasn't ever one of those who like grew up in the church and then once they got older, like they didn't believe anymore because of, whatever went on in the church. I would say, my whole family, we all represented Christ, but my mom didn't leave me being in church. Like she didn't let the church raise me. She made sure she did what she made sure she taught me about Jesus outside of church. But it wasn't just like, oh, this is a man that's gonna forgive you and he's amazing. No. My mom kept it really real with me. She kept it really real when it came to like if I'm doing something I'm not supposed to do. Like one thing that my mom told me is God's children never gets away from sin. Never. They never get away with sin. Okay, so that is like a key thing when it comes to like my story and my testimony, because it's true. I remember getting into just stuff, and I would always get in trouble, but the cool kids and the popular kids, like they just seem to have everything and just doing everything. But no, my mom made sure that she taught me what it means to have God in my life, in real life things, real life struggles, and all of that. So that is something that I honor my mom for sure. So because of that, like I've always known God. I've always kind of had a relationship with him. Like I always knew how important it was to pray and stuff like that. So okay, that's just like a little bit. I will say throughout my whole YouTube channel, I will be telling a lot of stories in between. Okay, and y'all, just to throw this in there, I am currently writing a book on my story. Just all the little stories in between my business. I am currently writing a book, and with that book is also included on how I started my hair business and how to start a hair business the right way. Because once I get into starting my business, I did not do everything right. I didn't do everything right at all. Like we're gonna get there. You'll understand. But I just wanted to throw that in there. After all of this, that book will be coming out. But just to fast forward, I do want to tell this one story that honestly I feel like this is what changed my life around quickly, and it was my obedience. So when I was 17 years old, my family was going through so much. Like this was like the poorest we ever been in my life, that I was able to see, that like I was able to like actually feel. We never really grew. We weren't ever like fortunate. Like my mom didn't have a lot of money. She worked at McDonald's and Burger King most of my life, so like we would always be at her job while she was working. But I didn't think nothing of it, because I was getting me some free food. But you know, I grew up on like fast food and like TV dinners and all that. But I never thought anything of all of that, honestly. Because my mom still made the best out of our childhood. We still had like we would always have traditions. We would always do holidays. Like my mom did activities with us. So honestly, like I didn't know we was ever really going through anything. Um, because my childhood was fun. Like I had a fun time with all my cousins and family and stuff like that. Because we were very family orientated. Um, but when I was 17, this was the first time that we was like super poor. Because my dad, he was in a rehab center in like a whole different state, and it led my mom being the only one to be the source of income. So she was already working a lot, but now she was working so much. That resulted into us like not really having much food. Like my mom did the best that she can. Like I remember opening up the refrigerator and it only being rice and beans and condiments. Rice, beans, mayo, ketchup, and hot sauce. Like that was it. I used to be really happy and excited to go to other people's house, but then when I would go to other people's house to eat or whatever, because like their parents would make them like full course meals and stuff, but they would always say like, um, like I'm hungry, like we don't have any food. Like what you mean you don't have any food? You got Pringles and little bites. Like you like yo. Like little bites and Pringles is luxury that you just got chilling in your cabinet. Like I used to go to other people's house and like just look at their cabinet like, wow. Like it's amazing that it's just sitting there and you're not eating that. So like that's just like a little, just a little insight on that. But like I said, my mom was trying, like it was, you know, all she could do. But at this time, God put on my spirit to host a prayer getty, and it was pretty much, I was like, you know, everyone is having parties of them drinking and smoking. Like, why not have a party where we're all together and we're worshiping God and we're telling our testimonies and we're just praising the Lord? So, when he gave me the idea, I was like, you know what, that's a good idea. I'm gonna do that. So, I remember I did the flyer and everything, but also I remember there was a point where I started to look at how much this was going to cost, because I said I was going to provide food, and I just, you know, I provided everything. And I remember this was like summer before my senior year, and I remember like saying, man, all this money that I'm about to spend on this, like I could be using this to go to school. Like I could be using this for my school clothes. And but then I remember feeling like, you know what? Nah, that's not right. Like that's the devil trying to stop me from doing what God is calling me to do. So I ignored that. I did it anyway. I didn't have much funds because I was working at Wendy's at the time, but I did it anyway. So far how I felt there, my mom wasn't there because she was working. My dad wasn't there because he was away. My boyfriend at the time, he wasn't there because he was away. So I felt really lonely doing it, but I still did it. And in that same month, I made my very first wig. And this is where we start into like the wig. So I made my very first wig, and the reason why I made a wig during this time, I never really did hair before. My mom would always do sew-ins for me. She would always do sew-ins, and one thing about me, I knew how to keep my sew-ins laid. Like I would always have my scarf on. I knew how to press out my hair. I didn't really know how to curl. I think at this time like wand curls was a thing, but I always kept my hair done. But at this time, I wanted to try a wig because I burnt out all of my leave out with the sew-ins. So I ended up having to do a big chop. And I'm like, you know what? Let me try this flip over wig. Like I can have a little bit of my hair out and it'll just cover the tracks. And yeah, so I ended up getting me some curly bundles from Ali Grace, and I made myself a flip over wig. Now my that first wig was the first time I ever picked up a needle and thread. I never did any type of sewing. Um, I wasn't really interested in doing hair for real. Like I just liked having my hair done. So I did that wig. It came out fire. When I did that wig, everyone was asking me to make them a wig, and I'm just like, nah. Like, I did. This is, this is my first wig. Like, I'm not, nah. So it came out really nice though. Then, school is about to come around, and this is when lace front wigs were kind of just coming in. So this is 2017, and this is when lace fronts started to come in. Now the only person that I followed that did lace fronts was Cliff Vermeer at the time, and he was popular. I mean, he's popular now, but he was popular with the closure sewings. And he was one of the ones that started to do lace front wigs. So I'm like, you know what? I want to try that. And I remember my friend telling me like, I don't know, May, like that seems like something you should actually go get done. And I'm just like, nah, like if I mess up, then I can just take my real hair out and just cover up the lace. I can just do it that way. Ended up doing it, and it came out fire. Like for my first lace front wig, this wig was fire. Like for 2017 first lace front wig, it was so good. I ended up putting some color in it, some brown in it. I'm like, let me spice it up, do something different, and it came out so nice. And when I did that one, that's when everybody was like, yo, especially at my job, they were like, yo, I will be your first customer. Okay, please, 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 please make me a wig. And I'm just like, no. I'm like, I don't want to make wigs for people. Like I don't want to make wigs for people. So fast forward, one of my coworkers, he was in cosmetology school, and he was trying to be a barber, and me and him, we was at work, and we was in a back cutting tomatoes, and he was just like, yo, why don't you want to do it? Like everybody's asking you to do it. And I'm just like, I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to satisfy everyone. That was the reason why. I was afraid that I wasn't able to satisfy everyone, because I felt like people was gonna be asking me for all this stuff that I don't know how to do. So he's like, yo, you can make so much money doing it. Like I work in a barber shop with other girls, and it's people coming in and out. Like hairstylists, barbers, they make money because hair will never go out of it will never go out of style. Like hair will never not be a thing, because people feel good when they have their hair done. So people are always gonna need their hair done. He was like, just try it. Like if you don't want to do it, then you can just stop, but don't knock it out because you can make so much money. That's when I was just like, okay, fine. So at this time, I didn't know the word hair vendor. Like hair vendor never came up. So I remember just looking up online how to sell hair. And it was like these drop shipping websites coming up talking about, oh, you can choose your own color, and we'll do everything for you. Like we'll ship it out to the customer. You won't have to do anything. And I didn't really like the sound of that, because I'm like, I mean, I actually want to see the hair. Like, so I didn't go with that. The only thing I can think about where to get hair from is where I got my hair from. And that was from Ali Grace on AliExpress. This is when AliExpress was popping. That's when everybody was buying hair off of there. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to just make up a price list. If you want to supply your hair, I put the price at $75. I will make the wig for $75. If you want me to supply the hair, it's going to be this price. So all I did was take the price from AliExpress, from Ali Grace. Like I would put 16, 18, 20, whatever price that was, I just added $75. So that's how I made my price list. And I wrote it in my notes. and I uploaded it and I said, hey, I'm making wigs. Like, this is the price list. If you want to supply your own hair, if you want me to supply the hair, this is the price. Very first day that I posted that, I got my first customer, which was very interesting because she ended up taking, like, because she came to my house, she ended up taking stuff out of my house and never giving it back. I made her the wig, and she ended up selling the wig as if she made it, and she made her own hair business. But I mean, I feel like I got another customer like the next week. I felt like I was getting like a customer like every 2 weeks or something. It was like moving slow, but I didn't think to really have a business. Like, it was just more like, if you want me to make you a wig, like, okay. So I didn't think about having a business. Every wig that I did make with me supplying the hair, I would leave a review under Ali Grace and tell them, hey, this is like, I would include the pictures and I would say, hey, this is the wig. This is like, hold on. This is a wig that I made with the hair. My name is such and such, and I make wigs. So if you want me to make you a wig, you can follow me on my Instagram. I did that with every single wig that I made when people would ask for me to use my hair. Now at this time, I didn't know that hair vendors was supposed to be a secret. I'm just leaving my review. But little did I know, I was promoting myself because people would always look at reviews. That was like, the way to shop. Like, you're looking at your reviews. So, with that being said, me leaving those reviews, I would get people following me on Instagram and they'll be like, hey, I saw your review on Ali Grace. Like, can you make me a wig? So that's when I started to get out of state orders. So I started my business. I started taking wigs in October. It wasn't until January when I started to get out of state orders. And I remember my first out of state order, it was in Baltimore, Maryland. So the wigs was picking up. Now, mind you, I was making wigs at this time by hand. When March came around, this was right before my 18th birthday, I decided to make a post on Twitter just promoting myself. So I would say, hey, my name is Amaya. I'm a 17-year-old wig maker. This is my passion. One retweet can go a long way. When I tell you, that post is what set it off for me. That post, I literally made that post, and the next day my DMs was filled because the post had went viral. It had like 2,000 retweets, and at this time, this is 2017, 2,000. No, this is 2018. 2,000 retweets is a lot. That's a lot at that time. So my DMs was filled with so many people ready to order, and I literally went to not having much money to $6,000 overnight, like that. So when I realized, I'm like, hold on, I can just. It only took me a post, like one post, for me to go viral like that. So I'm like, okay, bet. I'm going to keep posting. And that's exactly what I did. I just kept posting. I wouldn't say that I was going viral, but all the time, but my work kept being, being shown. Like, the internet is free. So literally, y'all, ever since that post, business has been consistent since. Up until we're gonna get to another part. But business kept growing and growing and growing. I was in high school at the time, and I started to get a little known for, me doing wigs. Oh, I forgot to mention, I did stop doing track my senior year. And the reason why I stopped doing track was I just didn't love it anymore. And also I started doing wigs, so I was like worried about me wearing wigs and it will come off. That's literally why I stopped doing track. I'm just like, I wear wigs now. Like, I don't know. I'm worried that it was coming off. Like, so, but also I didn't love track anymore. Like, I just didn't have any love for it. So I did quit, which was a big shock because I was known for track. And I was also a very, I mean, would I say valuable teammate? Because I don't know, I started to not feel like that after some time. But I remember my coach like asking me to come back and run track. Everyone's wondering why did I stop? Like they saw that I was doing wigs, and I knew it was just a shock because I didn't do hair before. So it was like you're about to quit running track your last year where it really counts to do something that you're not doing. So when I quit track, I didn't know if I wanted to quit track or if I wanted to do wigs. So I remember praying to God, God, I don't know if you want me to run track or if you want me to do hair, but I'ma just trust you and go with the flow. And that is when I was just like, you know what? I'ma just quit. And that's why I quit. So it was a lot of talk with that. But at this time, I was already blowing up. I was already making monies in high school. And I did still work at Wendy's, which was a lot. But I stayed at Wendy's so I can fund, just start buying other stuff. I did skip over a part. So before I went viral, mind you, I didn't start with any wigs. I just started with a price list. But about a month after starting, I did buy my first. I did sell my first ready to ship wig, and I bought a frontal and two bundles for it was like $98. Yeah, a frontal and two bundles for $98. That's how much it cost in 2017, and I made the wig. I put it up on my Instagram for $250. And I remember one of my coworkers was like, May just started making wigs. Who does she think she is selling a wig for $250? Yup. And I remember like I wasn't really ever a person to really speak up for myself. So when I heard that, I'm just like, okay, like I don't care. I mean, I cared, but I didn't care. But the wig sold in like 3 days. After 3 days of having it up, and it actually sold by an older woman, and it was my uncle's friend. So I met up with her at his house, and she ended up speaking so much life into me. She was like, yo, this wig is so nice, like you really have a talent and you're gonna go far with this. And she ended up tipping me $50, so I ended up leaving with $300. And I remember being so happy about that. And also when I first got that money, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to use that $300, take out like another $100, buy more hair, and turn that money into $250. So I was already in a mindset of flipping my money. I wasn't in the mindset of spending my money right away. I was just like, I want to buy more hair so I can turn that $300 to more. And that's exactly what I did. I ended up buying more hair. I sold a curly wig. Sold that one. I think I sold that one for like, I think I sold it for $250 too. The viral post. I'm 6 months in, and I'm set. Like the orders was coming in. I am set at this point. Towards the end of senior year, it started to get really busy for me. Senior year, the wigs work, so I took a leave of absence from work. I said I'm gonna come back after I graduate, and that's exactly what I did. I graduated and I came back, and one of the main reasons why I came back because I wanted to buy myself a car, and I wanted to have like proof of income for me to buy myself a car. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just go back to Wendy's just so they see that I have income. So I remember going back and dreading it. I'm just like, oh my god, like I'm sitting here. Don't get me wrong though. I did like working at Wendy's. This is crazy, but I always tell myself, if I wasn't doing what I'm doing, I would probably be a store general manager at Wendy's because I really enjoyed working there. Like it was fun. I was that kid that used to play like pizzeria and stuff like that. So like it felt like a video game to me. Like I like taking orders from the customers, making the sandwiches real quick, like looking at the order, making it felt like a video game to me. So I was really a good employee. Like my first month working there, I got a raise and employee of the month. And like that just shows like I was a really good worker. Like whatever I did, I made sure I did it at my fullest. And I didn't like to ever sit still. So like if I'm in my session, if I'm in my section and something else needs to be done, I'm gonna go over there and do it. So that was just like the type that I was. Um, so yeah, I really like working there. But when I came back, I realized I'm like, dang, like I'm here all day. I could be making wigs. Um, so it wasn't until I got my first check, and it was $78. And I was like, oh yeah, no, like I gotta leave. So I ended up putting my 2 weeks in, and I left. And the crazy thing is, I was actually about to become manager. My boss, he wanted to promote me to be a manager right before I left, but and the crazy thing is, like, even after like maybe like a year or two in, like he asked me to come back, and I'm just like, nah. But I end up leaving, and now I'm just focusing on my business. The business is still, it's it's going, like it's still going. So fast forward, it's time for me to start college. I did go to college the first year, but I failed 2 semesters. I failed every, like, the year. Like I failed. And I failed business, which is crazy because, I'm in business class talking to everybody like, yeah, I run a business and I'm failing. But like I said, I was not academically there. Like I was not, like I needed to be on medicine for me to be able to be good, but I didn't like that. I did not like relying on that medicine. So with me paying for school, I'm like, yo, I done failed 2 times, and the third time is not a charm. So when it came to the following year, I asked my mom if I can take a semester off, and she said no. So I ended up lying to her and telling her that, like, it's too late for me to enroll because I didn't do the FAFSA, which it was true, but I kind of kept pushing it back to do it, knowing that I had to do it, and then it got to the point where it was too late. So I told her, I'm like, oh mom, like it's too late for me to enroll. So because of that, she was not happy about that. She was not happy about that. But I told her, I said, mom, I promise I'm going to give it my all. I'm gonna give it my all with this semester. I promise I'm gonna go back to school, but I promise I'm gonna focus on my business, and I'm going to go all in to my business. And that's exactly what I did. I literally changed everything around. I got a mannequin head, I got a backdrop, I got thank you cards, boxes. Like I literally turned it into like a real legit business. Cause before I would just post it on a canvas head. You see my closet, my bed, and everything in the background. And I remember my cousin telling me like, no one's gonna take your business serious if you keep posting, like if that's what your photos look like. And I remember feeling that way about that, like thinking like, what you hating, like. But no, she was serious. Like she was right. She was right because once I changed everything around, that's when business started going up even more of a notch. Like it even started to go up even more. And that was because I literally did everything that I said I was going to do. And I didn't wait, I didn't drag it. Like I ordered everything right away. Like I moved quickly. And because of that, business grew quickly. And people started to, take me a little more serious too. And my work looked more aesthetically pleasing for it to be pushed out. So that was 2019. Also, that's when I got my first real hair vendor because keep in mind, I was still from 2017 and 2019, I was buying hair from a different hair vendor. A different company, taking the tags off and calling it Wigs by May. Um, but it wasn't until I started to actually look at my DMs because I noticed hair vendors would reach out to me and they'll contact me like, hey, we offer this, we offer we have the best this, we can do that, this and the third. And I used to feel like it was a scam. But until like one hit me up and I read it, and they said that they can make my wigs for me. They said I can tell them how many bundles I want, what length I want, what type of closure I want, what type of cap, what type of band I want, how many combs I want. Like, it was fully custom. And that caught my attention. And I ended up buying one wig from them, just one. And that wig was banging. Like, that wig was fire. And the processing time was quick. I ordered on a Monday, got the wig on a Wednesday. So with that, I was able to, my processing time was able to be quick, because I think my processing time was like, I think it was like 2 to 3 weeks. But now it was like a week, because everything's done for me. I just got bleach and wash, wash the wig, and customize it. I don't have to sit there and do it. So, because like I said, I was hand making them the whole time. Like, I was hand making them. Got my new vendor, mannequin head, backdrop, everything's looking T. Business went up another level. And then in 2020, that's when like I started seeing even more buku money. I remember having my first 10K month in May. I had another 10K month in April. Like, it was just booming. I was selling out in minutes. People was coming to my house to, like, if I had a drop at 10 o'clock, I literally had someone come to my house at 10 o'clock, like, hey, I need to make sure I get a wig. I was always sold out. Like, I would open up my books and I will sell out in minutes. And because of that, all month it looked like I was sold out. So with that being said, it was a race to get a wigs by May. Every month it was a race. If you didn't get it last month, you gotta try the next month. And that's how it was. Like, people would be like, yo, I've been waiting months to get a wig, and I would sell out like that, like this. 2019, I did 100,000 exactly. 2020, I ended up making like 250,000. At the end of 2020 is when I moved out of my parents' house, and I got my first apartment, and I got a 2-bedroom, and 1 bedroom was mine, the other one was my business. And this is when I started to become really popular on TikTok, because, oh, I didn't mention that I used to always be on live. Even when I was in my parents' house, the very first month I started, I used to go on live. Like, I would be on live from sun up to sundown, because I didn't really have a lot of friends, so I didn't have anyone to talk to. So I like being on live, that was like a way of talking to people while I'm working. And because of that, me being on live, I'm showing people how to, they're literally watching me do the wig from start to finish. And people would ask me questions and I would answer like, yeah, I'm doing this. Like, this, it used to turn into like a whole tutorial every time I went on live. And I remember starting with 2 people on my live, and it grew. 2 people went to 5 to 6, and then 5 to 6 went to a consistent 8 to 10, and then 20. 2020 is when TikTok started to become really popular, and my lives was jumping. I used to have thousands of people on my lives. Business is booming. 2021, booming. Like, it got to the point where it was only so much that I can do. And then that's when I realized I needed an assistant. So then I got my first assistant. That went well. So far as the work, but the relationship did not end. It did not end really good. Like I said, in my book, I tell a lot of more of my stories with my mistakes, because I talk about the mistakes and how to how to avoid these mistakes and do it the right way. That's pretty much what the book is about, like starting a business. So I am going to have a section on like hiring people, like how you should do it the right way, because I do take some fault into it. Just the way that I moved, not separating the friendship and the business. So that's where I went wrong in. As far as the work, she definitely did help me a lot. I was making a lot of money during that time. At this time, I was able to do more. And I had her in 2022. So at this time, I was making like $50,000-$60,000 a month, because I was able to do more. So yeah, so that didn't end good. But like I said, that we're gonna talk about that another time. Like the little stories we're gonna talk about another time. But that didn't end good. It was a lot because the volume that I was with work was with me and her. So then when she wasn't working with me, it was all left on me. But God got me. Like God got me, because when she left, oh, no, I was making $50,000 a month with her. When she left, the first month I was on my own, I ended up making $60,000 on my own, and that was the most that I ever made. And then after that, I ended up getting another assistant, and now we're going into end of 2022 into 2023, and 2023, that's when business was, like I said, my business grew $100,000 every year. So in 2023, now I'm doing $60,000 a month, um, with my new assistant. So it was going great. But this is where we start to go downhill. Part is just really, really emotional for me. Losing my assistant hurt me a lot. The way everything happened, it crushed me. Because not only that, she was also sisters of someone that I considered a best friend. And it did not end good. I let her have the last word, but she said a lot of things to me that really, 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 really crushed my heart. Like really stabbed me, and it hurt. It hurt so bad to where like I just wasn't okay. It was just like, to me, a terrible breakup. I'm not gonna get too far into that, but I do want to say that I did let her have the last word. I didn't have anything to say back to her because I never had any ill things to say, because I never had those feelings towards her. So I kind of let her have the last word, because I mean, I can't say anything back to you because I don't have any ill things to say. So I kind of let that be. That hurt me a lot. Like I said, I'm gonna leave that there. I don't want this to be about that, but I do think about her a lot, and she's watching this video. If you know her, I'm sure some people know the story, but I have like forgave her, and I do think about her, and I just hope everything is good for her. Truly, like I know she was in school and stuff like that, so I hope everything is good. But that hurt me. And then after that, I ended up I found out my boyfriend of 6 years was cheating on me. And that man was cheating on me just the whole entire relationship, honestly. But that hurt me. That's a whole different story. But if only y'all knew. He ended up leaving me in a lot of debt, which hurt me too, and it's a debt that I am still paying for to this day. Even though we broke up 3 years ago, I am still paying for the debt that he left me with. So that's that. And then after that, someone else really extremely close to me, this is all the end of 2022, someone else who was really close to me, I also found out just how they truly feel about me, and that all of that put me into like a very, very deep, dark place, to the point where I was just like, F everybody. Like, I just couldn't believe, all the, like, this, what I've done for everyone, and how I was for these people, and for them to like kind of stab me in the back. It literally made me go crazy. um, and it made my heart extremely cold. And that's when I started to change. That's when I just started to say F everybody. You know, I'm helping out everybody. I'm you know, helping people out financially and stuff like that. And for y'all to like come at me like that, it made me not want to help anybody. It made me very prideful, me into like a very ill person. You know, I'm making all this money at the time, so I'm just like, everybody, like, I'm rich. Like, I'm rich. That's literally how I was coming. Like, I don't care. I'm rich though. Like, I don't care what anybody says about me. At least I got money. You know. With me also being single for the first time in my adult life, I did start to go crazy. I started going dates. I started just messing around, just doing this stuff I ain't had no business doing. But it was because I was hurt. Like, I was hurt. You know, I started going out. I was already a smoker, but now I didn't have anyone up my butt, so I'm just going crazy. I started drinking. I started partying. I started to just live life, just live my life. First off, I don't even know how I was making all the money that I was making. The way that I was just so depressed and just out and drinking every day. Like, at this time, I'm making $60,000 a month. Like, and I don't even know how. I ended up having a friend move in with me, and she was also in a dark space, and now we have two dark people together, and it was just terrible. Like, for me it was extremely terrible on my spirit. I became very dark. I just became someone I was not. I remember looking at myself in the mirror like, who the hell is this? It was bad. And this is when I decided I wanted to move. I'm like, you know what? I just need to get away from everybody. I just want to move and start my life all over again. Like, and that's when I decided, this is 2023, that's when I decided I want to move to Houston, Texas. Now, why Houston, Texas? Atlanta just didn't seem like me. Like, Atlanta just seemed like a whole bunch of popular people, and I'm not popular. Like, I don't give popular girl. I don't give that at all. So I just didn't feel like I fit in there. Miami gave just party city. Like, I've been to Miami, had a blast, but it just wasn't me. LA, no. I hated LA. Don't like it. It's not me. So I'm just like, Houston. Like, I'm just going to Houston. Mind you, I don't really know much about Houston, but I know that it's cheaper and it's nice out there. So, yeah. So this is when I started my process of wanting to move. I visited there. I loved it. I felt like it was home. Like, it could easily become home. I remember, like, my dad and other people telling me, like, don't think that you're just going to move and it's going to completely change your life and you're just going to be a whole different person. Like, you're going to take the same person who you are right now to Houston. And I'm just like, you know, just like thinking that they jealous that y'all hating or something. Like, okay. Start to sink in with me. So I'm like, you know what? I do want to become a new person. I'm going to show y'all how I'm going to be a new person. So towards the end of me being in Jersey, that's when I did decide to start to change. One day, I kept seeing all these TikTok videos, pretty much saying like, God wants you. Like, if you're seeing this, this is the sign, whatever. Because at this time, I didn't have a relationship with God at this time anymore. I was so in a dark place. I didn't hear God at all. I didn't hear him at all. And that's the most dangerous place you can be in. Just kept seeing these TikTok videos. And then I slammed my phone and I cried out and I said, God, what do you want from me? I'm like, what do you want? And I'm like, what do you want from me? Like, I'm sorry. And I just kept saying, like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm no good. Like, I'm no good. And I'm like, I feel like you keep calling me. What? Like, I'm no good. What do you want? My dad had gifted me a Bible during this time. And I picked it up and I said, okay, God, like, what do you have to say to me? Thinking about me, I do believe God talks to us through the Bible. Clearly, I mean, the Bible is the manual of life. But I open it up and I'm like, whatever I land on, like, you just better talk to me for real. So I open up the Bible, and I hate that I should have had the scripture with me right now, but we just gonna paraphrase. That I came to, it says something about God draws his hands to the wicked ones. Down it said, turn them into like new. Like he'll turn them into new to never remember who they were before. Something like that. That scripture really, really stuck out to me. It was God literally telling me, like, it doesn't matter how far down you are or what you did. It doesn't matter, you know, that you turn your back away from me. What matters is that you grabbing my hand and you allowing me to change you and make you brand new. And I'll forgive you, and I'll never, you know, your past won't matter anymore. I begin to cry so bad. I'm crying. And I'm just like, okay, God. And I just remember crying and just saying, like, God, please change my mind, my heart, and my soul. Because right now, the way how all three is cannot make a good decision right now. Who I am I cannot make up my mind to make any good decision. I cannot make up my mind. My heart is cold. My mind is all over the place. My soul is just going. So I'm just praying, like, God, please change my heart, my mind, my soul, my heart, my mind, my soul. I swear after doing all that, I felt completely different. Like, it was like that was the first time I called out to God. And I felt like I don't know, like I just felt different. Like I felt like I was ready to conquer the world. I don't know. It was so weird. But I just felt different to the point where, like, I got up, I didn't even want to smoke. Like, I had weed and I don't know, like, I didn't even want to smoke it. Like, it was weird. Like, I'm turning on my music because I listen to rock music, and at this time I was listening to some dark rock music. I didn't even want to listen to it. I started listening to it. I'm just like, what the hell? What are they saying? Yo, this is literally the same day. Like, I just started. It was like I got a new pair of ears and eyes and nose and stuff, and I did not like the smell of weed. I did not want to listen to the music. I just started hearing what they was really saying. I'm just like, what the heck? Like, it was so weird. It was so weird. My flesh still wanted to do things. Like, my flesh still desired drinking and wanting to go out. 2 days after giving myself back to God, asking God to change me. It was on 4th of July, and I went to a friend's house. And he was having like a party, and we was drinking. I had me a bottle, we was drinking. And I'm taking all these shots, y'all. And I'm not feeling a thing. I'm like, why am I not feeling drunk? Like, I'm supposed to be having a good time. Like, why am I not feeling anything? And something just told me, like, felt like it was God resisting me from getting me to that point. Mind you, I was just drunk as hell last week, having a blast, you know what I mean? But this week, after I done asked God to change my mind, my heart, my soul, I'm trying to drink, and I'm not feeling drunk. Something came over me and reminded me that you ask God to change you, that's what's happening. My flesh still wanted to enjoy the time that I was having. So I literally, in my head, I just said, F it. Like, yo, pass me the bottle. Pass me the bottle right now. And I just started chugging. Now I'm forcing myself to get drunk. I could not go home that night. I could not go home. I ended up sleeping over his house. Shout out to him. He let me stay over, you know. I was messed up. Um, but the next day, y'all, the next day I had the meanest hangover in my life. I never had a hangover ever. When I used to drink, when I was drinking every day, I would get up the next day like it was nothing. Like, but that day, I had a hangover. It was terrible. That hangover lasted for 3 days. 3 days. I remember talking to my mom about it. My mom was just like, May, you can't expect God to change you and you keep doing what you're doing. Like, of course you're gonna feel terrible. this you ask God to change you, and that's what he's doing. No, you can't drink anymore and feel the same. You can't. You're not going to be able to. For some reason, I still wanted to have fun and indulge in other things. And but everything else that I tried to do, it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same. Like I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I had me a little sneaky link. And for the first time, the sneaky link wasn't sneaky linking no more. Like it just wasn't the same. It wasn't the same. And I remember oh, I'm getting a little too personal, but this is just the truth. I'm sure people can, can relate. But I remember the connection wasn't the same, and I started to look at him differently. Like, I don't know. Like, I just started looking at him differently. Okay, wait, I'm skipping over a part. After the 4th of July thing, I took a break. I took a break from drinking and smoking because it made me feel so terrible. I just could not do it. So I took a break from drinking and smoking. One day, I hit up my sneaky link or whatever. He came over, and we outside. He rolling up. He turns to me. He says, "When's the last time you drank and smoked?" When he said that to me, I don't know. It was like something just hit my spirit, because it's like, how do you know I haven't drank and smoked? How do you know? And I asked him that, like, why are you asking me that? He's just like, I'm just asking. My spirit is telling me, no, he's asking because he can tell that there's something different about you. And it was. It absolutely was. Once I asked God to change me, it absolutely was something just different with my spirit. Him asking me that was just so deep to me. I said, it's been a little bit. It's been a little bit. He was just like, oh, okay. I smoked, and I even still try to drink to, just, you know what a sneaky link is. But no, it was not the same, y'all. Like, it was not the same because I was not the same. I could not drink and smoke the same anymore. Like, it was weird. But it was more confirmation that God was changing me. So after that, that's when I realized, like, yeah, I can't give it to you no more. Like, I can't. I'm not the same person anymore. So it's just not gonna be the same. So that was that. Leading up to moving to Houston. At this point, I'm back in church. I was going to 2 Bible studies a week, one on Zoom and one in person, and I was getting right. I had to be so transparent, real. But I was also like addicted to porn too, like before. And once I just gave my life back, I didn't even want to watch that anymore. Like, it, like, literally things that I used to do was disgusting to me. It was disgusting. I didn't even want to touch myself. Like, it was just disgusting. So I stopped. I just stopped it all. So at this point, I'm feeling peace. I'm feeling better. Like, I'm going to church. So now it's time that I move to Houston. I did not know the type of city I was moving to. I had no idea. Yeah, I did visit Houston 3 times before I went, but I didn't know anything about the party scene. I didn't really indulge in that. I did go out with my mom, but we was kind of at like, we was like at these Mexican places. So it like, don't get me wrong, like it was fun, but I'm just thinking, okay, we just at this club. Like, no, I didn't know that like Houston. I did not know Houston is the way that it is. The people who moved all of my stuff, first of all, they scammed me because they told me that my stuff would be here in 3 to 4 days, and I didn't end up getting all of my belongings for 2 months. So I didn't have any clothes. I was sleeping on the air mattress. It was just terrible. I didn't have anything. Luckily, I put all of my hair stuff in my car, and I got my car the same day that I moved, because y'all, like, I literally had nothing. Moved out here with my assistant. I moved her out here because I wanted her to continue work with me. I didn't want to go through finding a new assistant, all that. So I wanted her to continue with me. And then I figured, this is my friend. Like, I just moved into a house. I have an extra bedroom. Like, she can be in there. We can explore Houston together. So that's exactly what we did. The first night we went out, and it was a high like I'd never been on. I never experienced, first off, I just never experienced the southern hospitality. So I'm coming out here, and I'm single too, so people was buying me drinks, people was letting us in their section. Let me tell you something, it's not like that in Jersey and Philly. You're not getting in anyone's section. Like, in up north, your section is for your people. You don't just go into someone's section. Like, no. But out here, man, all you gotta do is walk, and someone's like, oh, come here, you can come in our section. Here, take a shot. I ain't never experienced that before. Never. So now I'm going out, and you telling me I don't gotta pay for a drink? You telling me all I gotta do is look cute and just be present for someone to come up to me and give me a shot and buy me a drink? I never experienced that. It's not like that in Jersey. People is not just buying you drinks. No. Not even, like, even the women, even the girls was doing that. A girl would come up to me and tell me that I'm pretty. I'm like, oh, thank you, you're pretty too. Oh, thank you. Here go a shot. So me and Chandler's my assistant, we are just like ecstatic. And then not only that, when I came out here, I realized the girls dress down. Okay, when they say Houston hottie, they're not lying. When they go to the club, one thing that I noticed down here compared to up there, up north, is up north, you can go to the club in some sneakers. Okay, you can have some sneakers, some tights, and some shirt. Like, you don't really gotta put it on like that. But out here, they put it on. Okay, heels, hair laid. When I moved out here, I was like, oh yeah, my hair gotta be done. Okay, laid. Poster dress. Okay, yeah, I turned into a poster dress girl. Okay, the cutouts, just everything. They are dressed down to the T. It was like just like eye candy. It was just something that I've never experienced before. I never seen before, and because of it, I started to turn into that. They, especially out here, they have a lot of boutiques. We don't have that in Jersey. We got Forever 21 and Rainbow. We don't have stores that where you can just go buy a club outfit, like a club outfit, a two-piece, a Fashion Nova two-piece outfit. We don't have that. Like the Mover Company, we didn't have none of our clothes. I started going to the boutiques and buying the clothes. And like we not having much to do because we don't have anything. So what do? You know, we in a new city. We exploring everything. We going out to eat every day. We going to the clubs every day. Literally every weekend we was going to the clubs. We done went to you know how many times I done went to playground? I done went playground, dome, space. I was living it up, okay? It was something that I never experienced. And it was also as if I told myself that I wasn't going to change. I swore I was going to come out here and be modest and go for runs, water my grass, find me a church home. I swore I was going to do all that. I did not do that. I literally partied every day. Like when I tell you there's a party out here every day. I'm not exaggerating when I say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay? I didn't know what Sunday Fun Day was until I came out here. Okay, Sunday Fun Day, that's when the liquor stores is closed. But all the clubs, all the restaurants, you know, the drinks is on sale. Man, they got Thirsty Fridays, Thirsty Thursdays, dollar wing Fridays, $2 shot Saturdays, Monday $5 lamb chops. Like, yo, it's crazy out here. Like, it's literally crazy. Like, and then the food is so good. And like, I'm telling you, like, the happy hours is crazy. They got happy hours where you can get you some full 2 tacos for $5, place of wings for $5, lamb chops for $5, $3 lemon drops. It like, I didn't know I was moving here to do all that. I didn't know. I indulged in every second of it. I did. And I started to turn into the person I was right before I left. I literally did exactly what my dad told, because my dad told me, he said, don't think you're going to move and you're just going to be this different person. I thought, you know, the change that I did before I moved was enough. No. When it comes to God, and this is where my lesson comes from. When it comes to God, you can't take a break with your relationship. The moment you take a break, you have left the door open for the enemy. And that's exactly what happened. It's cool before, you know, I was with God before I moved. I came out to Houston. I ain't go to church. I ain't praying. I ain't reading my word. I fell right back into sin. Like it was nothing. Like, it was like my flesh. Like, it was like we forgot or something. I fell right back. So, yeah, I came out here. I turned into a Houston hottie. I was gaining me some weight because all the food I was eating. They had fried shrimp and oh my God, it was so good. I never been to clubs where they barbecuing at 3 o'clock in the morning. Somebody is in the back of the club making ribs and fried chicken. You telling me when I get out of the club, there's a food truck with fried shrimp, fried fish, fries, and wings for $16? Oh my God. I used to come back from the clubs. I'd be in my bed just Yo, I used to come back at 6, 7 in the morning. 6, 7 in the morning. I went to sleep. I wake up at 1 o'clock. I ate. I went back to sleep. And I woke up at 9 p.m. to get ready at 10 p.m. and leave the house at 11 and did it all over again. I did it all over again. That is Houston for you. When I realized how easy it was, that all I had to do was look good for me to get a drink. All I needed was gas money and money to get into the club, and I was good. I never had to pay for a drink. I mean, actually, maybe to get started. But what? Then I started using that to my advantage. I started to turn into one of those, y'all. I started to turn into one of them girls. Now, I don't want to say the word tricking because my man told me I'm using the word wrong. But this is me and Chandler's term. We was tricking. Like, we was like, guys would talk to us, and I mean, I would look at them like I'm interested. I would talk to them like I'm interested just to get a drink. And once they gave me a drink, okay, bye. That was me. I started to turn into one of those. I started to use my eyes to my advantage. Like I said, I'm getting a little TMI here. Like, I didn't think about me coming out here and not having me a sneaky link no more. You know, I was being taken care of back. I was being taken care of in Jersey. Now it's like, dang, like, I don't know nobody out here, like, because of that. That's when I found out about Rosie. You know, we all know who Rosie is. Yeah, I gave Rosie a name. So we all know Miss Rosie. So, you know, I got me Miss Rosie. She was taking care of me, but when I got Miss Rosie, I started to get into the porn again. Started to get back into it bad, heavily, and yeah. So with that, I begin to just turn into an even darker person. I started to even be more depressed. I was not okay. I was having fun. Don't get me wrong. I was having a blast, but I was not okay. My man, he is a huge part of my testimony. He is a huge part of me changing. I met him in December of 2023, and when I met him, I'm not going to talk about how we met and all this other stuff, but he was just an amazing man. Like, just like a really God-fearing man. And I remember when he came in my life, I'm like, God, like, why are you in my life? Like, well, where did you come from? Because I am not, like, I am nowhere of a person for you. When he started to talk about God and stuff like that, it was the first time I was reminded of who I said I wanted to be when I came out here. He reminded me of all of that. He was the start of my change. First off, I had like this very bad view of men. Like, just this terrible view of men. Like, especially when I started tricking on, not tricking like what people think, but I call it tricking, because I'm like tricking you into getting me something. Like, I don't really care about you, but I want the drink. But I just had this terrible view of men, you know, especially after my ex or whatever. And then, you know, when I was back in Jersey, I was dating or whatever, like I literally was just going out just to get food. Like, I did not care about none of them, because I just had a bad view of men. I was very mean, you know, like, people, my friends and everything knew me to be like one of those mean girls to their significant other, because I did begin to be mean to my ex towards the end, but he respectfully, he deserved it, the way he was doing, the way he did me dirty. But he made me feel so soft. I couldn't believe it. I literally couldn't believe how he was making me feel. Okay, so let's get to the point where I give my life back to God again. Beginning of 2024, I noticed a shift in my business. Like, the orders wasn't flowing in from before. Now in 2023, I did end the year with making $680,000 in sales. But in 2024, I started to notice a decrease in my sales. But I'm not really paying attention to it. Like, I noticed it, but I didn't really pay attention to it. Now, I still had Chandler. She was still working for me. I'm still paying her like I'm making $60,000 a month. But at this point, okay, 60,000, like, that would be like my highest or whatever. But on a regular month, it would be between 40 to 40 to 50,000. 30,000 was considered a slow month. Like, 30,000 was like, what's going on? Like, was like paying attention that I'm making $30,000. It wasn't until like April I didn't get any sales for the first 5 days, like 0. And I'm just like, what the heck? I'm just confused. Okay, let me look at my bank account. Let me just say, I never had to look at my bank account. Never had to look at my bank account. Which is truly a blessing, but I had all my bills on auto pay. I never had to look at them. I didn't really go into my bank account. Like I said, these little stories will be added in my book, but there was a point in time where I would have like $80,000 just in my account, like just chilling in my account. Like, that was mine. Like, that was my money. So, like, I never looked. I spent, it came. I spent money, it came back. Like, I would have a consistent $80,000 in my account. But no, that was the first time I looked at my account, and I was just like, whoa. I had to start cutting down on stuff. And one of the first one being was my assistant, because I was paying her like I was still making a lot of money, and at that point I was not making the same money. So, I let her know, like, oh, I actually, the orders that's coming in is not necessarily enough for me to still have you right now, like, have you working 3 to 4 times a week. So I am going to have to cut you down to 2 days. And then came June is when I really had to like take a break from her, because it was still moving slow. Like, it was like the orders that was coming in was only enough for just me. Now, at this time, my views went down. Before, I was able to just post and go viral. Before, I would be on live and have thousands of views. Now, I was posting and getting like 10 likes in an hour. I was posting and like my videos was no longer getting pushed out. Like, everything just dropped. Money dropped, views dropped, everything dropped. And I remember I started to compare myself to other people. Like, hold on, like they got less followers than me, and they got more views than me. Like, what's going on? Like, this don't make any sense. Like, I got 100,000 followers. Like, what's going on? And me comparing myself and like my views, it made me so angry, because we all know making content takes so much time. So I would be taking so much time with these videos, editing, to only get 30 likes. So it literally like made me go insane. I started going crazy. Like I would just give up and cry. And my man, like, he'll like help me, talk me through it or whatever. But I was just like so angry. At this time, I'm still going out. I'm still doing whatever. One day I woke up really sad. I was crying because I'm just like, this isn't fair. Like, why is this happening to me? Like, I don't understand. This has never happened to me. Like, I moved out here. I'm supposed to, I just made almost $700,000. Like, this was the year that I'm supposed to make $1,000,000. Like, this, I just moved out here. I got more bills. What is going on? So I just remember being sad. And my boyfriend, my man, I don't like saying boyfriend, he's my man, he said, May, stop what you're doing. It was put on my spirit for you to go outside and talk to God. Like, it was put on my spirit that God wants to talk to you.